All right, there we go. Good evening. I am Councilwoman Gums in the city of South Fulton, serving the second district for this beautiful city. And I am actually having our community meeting, which is a series of chats that we will have with constituents. This is actually one of the ones that has been a hot topic for quite some time. And this is in regards to the senior development that will be coming to West Stubbs and Butner Road. So I wanted to have an opportunity to provide the community with an update and some information of what the product will look like that is proposed to go there, and then also filter some questions from the community. So we will start off. We will probably have some people joining us in a little bit, but if you have questions, please make sure you put them in the chat. There is someone that will be monitoring the chat. We did ask for you to email in questions, so we do have a couple of those questions as well that our panelists will be answering for you. So I will turn it over really quickly to Michelle Battle, and she will provide us with an update on the new plans for the proposed area. And then also too, we'll take any questions. So please make sure you log them in the YouTube. So Michelle Battle, thank you for joining us tonight, and we are ready to hear and see what you have to offer.
Okay. Well, as you know, we're here talking about the Proterra matter at the intersection of Butner and West Stubbs. And we have been working very hard to improve the quality of the product based on the comments that we received from the community. And so since last we met, we've had a number of changes to the project that I would like to share. First, the component of the project that is to be rezoned SH, we have dropped the density to no more than 4 units per acre. And additionally, the number of units dropped to 70 units. We had to do a little bit of reconfiguration on the site. So we'll be 17.4 acres of property that will be rezoned to SH for the development of single family homes for seniors 55 and older. And we do have some information on the product. I'll put that up first. If I can go ahead and share this again. Let's see. Boom. If everybody can, hopefully everyone can see that. Okay, so that is the product that we are looking to develop on the property. In terms of looking at the actual site plan for the property, we do have some information on that, and I will share my screen here. The first thing, again, is that we have limited the total number of units to no more than 70 on the SH portion of the project. We are now doing a total, looks like I'm having a little problem here sharing.
Is it something different from last time?
Yeah, probably would be good to see that. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Stop that here. Sorry about that. I'm not sure why that came back up, so I won't touch that again. The site plan actually now shows that we have our entrance still lined up with the subdivision across the street. However, we have narrowed that entrance. We're coming into the community with a boulevard kind of entrance in. All of the units are kind of around a semicircle with, for the seniors, a senior building with outdoor amenities around the building. That building will be able to contain like a community space where they can have movies, you know, functions, those types of things within the project. Additionally, each of the homes will have a two-car garage. There will not be any attached units. We will not have any attached units. There will be no townhome product on this property. Additionally, I was going to share a PowerPoint with you, but I cannot seem to get that to pull up. So we will go a different direction here. So the homes themselves, again, will be in the configuration that you saw on the visual that we provided to you. And there will be basically 3 types of homes that will be built within the CUP component of the property. The first, I heard something back there in the background. The first property type within that community will be a ranch style cottage home. That cottage home will have a minimum square footage of 1,600 square feet. And the price point on that unit will start roughly in the 290s and up. So once again, the SH portion with the ranch style homes will be a minimum of 1,600 square feet. And we'll have a 2-bedroom, a den, a 2-car garage, and it'll be a minimum again of 1,600 square feet at $290,000. There'll be a second option in which you can have a bonus second room on the second floor. That unit will be basically 1,950 square feet with a initial price point of roughly $325,000. So $325,000 for the 2-story, where the second story is a bonus room. So it's not a full second story. And then the third option will be a 2-story home, which will be 2,700 square feet. And the price point there will start between $350,000 and $360,000. So again, there are going to be 3 types of units. There will no longer be any type of townhome units. And once again, I'll say it one more time. We will have 1-story ranches. There'll be roughly there will be a minimum of 1,600 square feet, 1,600 square feet. Price point starts at $290,000. With regards to the second option, it will be the same ranch house, but with a bonus room on the second floor. There will be 2 stories, 1,950 square foot minimum, with a starting price point of $325,000. And then the third option will be a 2-story unit, 2,700 square feet, minimum price point $350,000 and up. In terms of the facade materials, it will be a craftsman style type home. We believe that this is what the market is calling for. And so we are looking at a product that will be very attractive. If you saw the slide presentation that we just gave, we think it's a very attractive look and very contemporary for what you are seeing in other markets. And again, we have several conditions that we are submitting to staff and will provide to Councilmember Gumps so that she can pass that along to everyone. But that is the the SH portion of the project. And I don't know if you want me to go on, if you want to take the questions on this portion, and then we can move to the CUP.
Okay. Joy, are you, I see the questions that are coming across the screen. Are you able to read those questions? I can read the one that I do see, which is Council Member Gums. Does it meet the full brick, stucco, or stack requirement? Um, Resident Sonia Patterson. Do you want to? I think you kind of spoke to that just a little bit.
No, it does not. It doesn't meet, and I'm not sure what requirement that is.
Under Fulton County.
If that's something new, but it was intended to be a craftsman style product, which does not include a full brick front. No.
Okay, so is there an opportunity for some of them to have that brick option? Okay.
I suspect that the answer to that is yes, that they can have the option would definitely be there for the brick. And it may be that they also may do like a brick water table and then be able to paint that depending upon the colors. You know, a lot of the homes now are being painted white, and so they can paint the brick, that kind of thing. So
okay. Yeah, that's, you know how I feel about brick. So that's definitely something that we can talk about, because I think we want to add as much value to the home. So for the senior portion, it's going to be 70 homes in the senior portion, correct?
Total of 70 homes.
Total of 70. And you're also saying that it'll be a narrow boulevard, so the entrance will be just driving in.
Yes. It'll have 2 lanes, which is what was required by staff.
Okay, definitely. And speak to the amenities a little bit. I think that that's something that a lot of the residents are concerned about in the surrounding area. And I know that these are seniors. So what about the amenities?
So we will have a community building. And there was a request that within that building we would have, and we're anticipating it either be 1 or 2 stories, but it will have a meeting space. It will have a theater for the residents. And those would be the primary things within, like maybe a little library area, kind of a sitting area off to the side. But it will be a space where they will be able to gather, you know, whether it's for a birthday or, you know, some type of party, or just simply day-to-day kind of opportunities to meet with, you know, with the people in the community. We had looked at having a pool in the back, but we are open, quite honestly, to suggestions as to whether it might be better as like a community garden or some type of seating area. We believe that the area back there, the intent is to have it well landscaped, and so it will be, you know, a very appealing area to just kind of sit and relax in. But we were thinking, some suggested that maybe a pool was not the best option, because many of the seniors may not have an interest in using that, and so it may be better to have maybe like a community garden or something there. So we're open to that suggestion. So that's the primary amenity. Well, that is the amenity within, and we took out the adult daycare facility and the other space. So this is a dedicated space just for the seniors.
Okay. Some of the things too, I know, with going back to the brick really quick, that there's a requirement of 60% brick in the front. And I would like to have at least a request of like 30%. I think that's the water table that you were talking about. So we'll talk more about that.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be a problem with regards to having brick on the front. I think we can do that.
Okay. All right. There was also the value of exactly. And as you all that are watching from the YouTube, she mentioned about she's willing to take suggestions of what else amenities would be comparable to that particular development. So if you can please chime in the chat and share what do you think would be appropriate, that would be great. Also, to the comments are coming very fast. District 1 and 2, 3 have most expensive home values. How will this development help to increase the value? So you can go ahead, Michelle.
No, I was going to say we do. I hope he's still on. Marlon Day is here with us, who's our appraiser, to answer questions with regards to values.
Well, as it pertains to values in the area, based upon the price point of this home, If I may, if I can share a few slides here that we have.
Let's see if you're successful. You can definitely try.
Yeah, because I wasn't successful.
All right.
And just to let the residents know, I will put this in my newsletters and share the presentations if we're not able to get them on the screen. Are you having a hard time? Okay. All right.
All right. Are you able to see? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, it
Yeah.
just needs to be in presentation mode. There we go.
There we go.
Put your full slide up.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. What we did, what we did in terms of an analysis is we looked at a 3-mile radius around the Stubbs and Butner Road area, and we tried to look and see what type of activity we saw in the area. A search in MLS and FMLS, we found the following subdivisions: Kingsland, Camden Manor, Retreat at Sierra Estate, Wolf Creek Chase, and Union Crossing. Kingsland at a glance, we saw that there were 11 closed sales in the past 18 months. Sales price range from $250 to $287. Average lot sizes are shown here. Typical home size was between 2,000 and 2,500 square feet. The builder was Parent Homes, and absorption was about 0.61 homes per month, so about a half a home thereabout per month was what they sold. And then next is Camden Manor at a glance. They had 17 closed sales in the past 18 months, with sales prices ranging from $279,900 to $340,000. Typical home size was again 2,200 square feet to 3,300 square feet. Builder was D.R. Horton, and they averaged just about a home per month. Next, we had Retreat at Sierra Estate. They had 4 closed sales in the past 6 months. Sales prices range from $274,000 to $285,000. Typical home size again was 1,700 to 2,300 square feet. Builder again was D.R. Horton, and the absorption was nearly 0.67 homes per month, or they're about a half a home per month. Wolf Creek Chase, we recognized 27 closed sales in the past 24 months. Sales prices ranging from $270,000 to $378,000. With typical home size of 1,900 to 3,300 square feet. Builder again was D.R. Horton, and the absorption was a little over 1.13 homes per month. And then I think lastly was Union Crossing. They recognized 5 sales in the past 3 months. Sales price range from $370,000 to $405,000 for typical home sizes of 2,900 to 3,400 square feet. Absorption was nearly 1.67 homes per month, and the builder was Stephen Elliott Homes. What we notice here from absorption by price point is if you notice the different subdivisions, the Union Crossing had the highest absorption, and their price point for Union Crossing was $370,000 to $405,000. And now we look at market value, which I know which was primarily the question, and market value is the most probable price which a property should bring in a competitive and open market under all conditions, by the buyer and seller, each acting prudently and knowledgeably, and assuming the price is not affected by undue stimulus, meaning that buyer and seller isn't forced or coerced to sell. And from an appraisal standpoint, when we look at market value, what we're looking at is the key concept is the most probable price. We're looking at on average. We're not looking at the anomaly transactions, the one-off transactions here or there. We're looking, if we see 10 sales transactions and 6 are all somewhat clumped together and 4 are kind of outliers, well, we kind of sort of will put more emphasis on those 6. Now we look at appreciation comparison for 400,000 plus homes. We recognize the home at 5390 Serenity Lane in Atlanta, Georgia. It sold for $628,000 on August 19, 2005. And it recently sold in May 29, 2020 for $610,000. Appreciation was negative 3% or nearly negative 0.20% annually. The home was built in 2005 and is nearly 4,300 square feet and situated on a 1.2 acre site within the gates at Stone Lake. Then next we have the 840 Botanical Way in Fairburn, sold for $536 on October 2nd, 2007. And again, it sold in January 26, 2021, this year for $550. The appreciation is 2.55% or nearly 0.18% annually. And this home was built in 2007 and is nearly 3,600 square feet and situated on about a half an acre. And then the last home we have here is 4461 Hazeltine Drive in Atlanta. Sold for $261, $756 in October of 2005, and it recently sold in July 21st, 2020 for $403,000. The appreciation for this home was 53%. And nearly 3.6% annually. The home was built in 2005 and is nearly 3,100 square feet and situated on a little less than a half an acre. And now the appreciation comparison with recent construction. We've got a home here that's in the Camden Manor that was sold in 2017 for $256, and it just recently sold again in August 2020 for $309. Appreciation of 20% or nearly 6.8% appreciation, and that was primarily in a 3-year period. We've got another home here on Bluestone Drive in Atlanta that sold for $260 in May of 2017, and it sold again in January 2015 for $315. The appreciation for that was 21% or nearly 7% annually. And now lastly, we have a home on Jackanaar Lane that sold for $485,000 on November 7th, 2017, and it sold again for $549 in September of 2020. Appreciation was 13% or nearly 4.37% annually. So if we look at the trend here, is we're seeing a dominant trend in the market for homes between, let's say, 250,000 and 400,000 is a good dominant trend, and we see the greatest appreciation within that price point. And the higher the home price goes, we see the lower the appreciation is until we get to a point of almost break even on some of the homes that were sold back in 2007 and 2005. So what that's what that's telling us is based upon demand in the market. Demand in the market is towards those moderately priced homes between $250 and $350, and that's where we're seeing the greatest appreciation. We're looking at some closings in the South Atlanta trends. We see South Fulton here is leading on this South Atlanta trend for the number of quarterly closings. Again, we look over here, we're looking at the South Atlanta median new home pricing trends within the overall South Atlanta, and that includes South Fulton, and that includes some of the other counties. It shows that the average trend is about $252,000 for a 2,500 square foot home, and it's up about 3.9% year over year. And now, lastly, one of the last slides I wanted to show is we ran this trend in MLS just so we can kind of sort of see and get a feel for the past 12 months. What kind of activity are we seeing within this 3-mile radius around the Stubbs and Butner Road intersection? What we're seeing here is 83% of new construction transactions within the past 12 months are ranging between 225 and 350 within that 3-mile radius, and only 14% of the new construction transactions within the past 12 months in that same 3-mile radius area are above 350,000. So what that's kind of, again, what the data and the sales transactions are leading us to believe is that dominant price point is somewhere between 350, between 250,000 and 350,000 is probably our dominant trend within that market. So we're seeing that theme in the data. We're seeing those homes sold within that price point have a higher point of appreciation. They also have a higher rate of absorption. So we're kind of sort of seeing where the demand in the market is for. And then what we also did was, and I can stop sharing my screen now. Also, additionally, what we looked at was we also additionally looked at the median household income. Now, within a 3-mile radius of the same target area that we've been talking about, the Census Bureau shows a median household income of $81,000. And now that $81,000 in today's market, most lenders are looking to qualify people for mortgages based upon a percentage of your gross income. In today's market, it's somewhere between 24 to 27% of your gross income, which is different from during the boom before the recession. During the boom before the recession, people were able to qualify for homes at 40 or 45% of their gross income. And we saw how that contributed to the recession. But now lenders are a little bit more conservative and back at somewhere around 24 to 27%. So what we did was we took the 24% of gross income, and we looked at the gross income or the median household income within that area being 81,000, and we took 24% of that, and that equated to, when you calculate that into a mortgage, that kind of sort of calculates out to about a $360,000 mortgage. 81,000 and 21% of that equates to about a $1,600 a month allocated to mortgage, not including taxes and insurance. And if you take a $1,600 a month mortgage payment, that in today's market, based upon our current interest rates between 2.5% and 3%, that kind of puts you in the ballpark of a $360,000 mortgage. And with most buyers today are typically trying to buy a little bit below what they max qualify for, so that they can maintain some extra disposable income. So when we look at the median household income in that 3-mile area being 81,000, it's pointing back to the same thing that our data is showing, that we have a lot of demand and a lot of just basically a much higher demand within that $250,000 to $350,000 price point. And the median household income in that area also shows support for that. So all the data and the statistics and the numbers that we're looking at shows that price point. So what that means for the higher price homes is that it's going to be a little harder for the higher price homes. There's less of a buyer pool already in that market. So what you're having to do for that higher price point, which is why the 2 higher price point sales from 2007 that we showed really basically broke even in terms of appreciation. And that's primarily when you look at the household income, there's not a big base in that 3-mile area market for those higher price homes. So what you're having to rely on is importing people, other market participants from other market areas. And for that, that's
so Marlon, can you there's been a number of questions as to why we didn't include Walden, or why you didn't include Walden Park, that's right adjacent to this site, and there was no mention of that or any of your homes.
I'll have to look back at our data. I know we mentioned LaJardin in there, and I believe there was a Gates at Stone Lake. I'm not certain why Walden. I can go back and look at the data to see why Walden Park wasn't included in that. I'm not certain if it fell within that 3-mile radius, because we started at the Stubbs, West Stubbs, and Butner Road, and we expanded out a 3-mile radius, and we just looked at recent sales. So I'm not certain if there haven't been any near recent sales for homes that sold prior to the recession. But we can go back and take a look at that particular subdivision and see if we see anything different in the data there.
Okay. Yeah, it is right next door. So yeah, it would be important to see that. Also, too, you were getting some comments about the variation rates, and were there any comparisons that you did for North Fulton compared to South Fulton?
The only thing we compared North Fulton and South Fulton for in terms of not necessarily in terms of values. We just looked at it from a median household income standpoint, where we looked at the 3-mile radius median household income in this area compared to Alpharetta, and then compared to Sandy Springs. That was the extent of the comparison. Now, if they were like, we can extract a few sales in those areas to show what those homes are appreciating at, if they were built in around the same point, around the same time point of 2007, 2008, and then see what their rate of appreciation was. Which I'm going to go on record, make an assumption. I'm assuming that their rate of appreciation in the Alpharetta and Sandy Springs area is probably a little bit higher than the ones that we reflected in this area.
Okay. One of the things too, I know that there's very low inventory throughout the state of Georgia as far as, real estate goes. And pricing is very important. And what I'm seeing is that a lot of our residents are stating that we are underselling our community. Can you talk a little bit about that? I know I've spoken with some other real estate and mortgage lenders. Of course, I even pulled a study that also offered the same information as far as the trending price right now. But there is a belief that we're undervaluing our home values here based off of the houses that we're selling. And I know that some of the builders are asking, for 350, 325. But also too, it's really hard to find, homes in, the Atlanta metro area for anything lower than that. So can you speak a little bit about that and just your thoughts? Not saying it's the gospel, but it would be nice to hear.
Yeah, what we're seeing, we hear a lot also about the shortage. What we in our office have been calling we've been calling it the Covet shortage. It's somewhat artificial. It's not that we've had a huge population boom. A real shortage would be as if Atlanta had a huge population boom and we just did not have enough homes for everybody moving to the area. What we've experienced here is, prior to COVID, there wasn't a shortage. During COVID, the shortage that we've recognized has been artificial from the standpoint is we don't have the same amount of resales on the market because we're in the middle of a pandemic, and everybody that wants to sell their house may not be comfortable having people in and out of their homes for listing purposes. So you've taken a lot of our traditional resale homes have been taken off the market during this pandemic, and that's somewhat created that artificial shortage, and because of that, pricing has gotten very aggressive in the past. Strangely enough, pricing on the residential side has gotten very aggressive, almost eBay auction like bidding on homes, because even though we have a lot of home sellers that may not be comfortable having people in and out of their home, we still have the same amount of buyers. So if, for example, if you have traditionally in a neighborhood, you may have 100 homes on the market annually, with maybe 105 buyers competing for those 100 homes. And that's somewhat of a stable market. But what we witnessed last year during the pandemic is, instead of 100 homes on the market, you may have had 50 homes on the market, followed by that same 105 potential buyers competing. So now what we have buyers frenzy, not necessarily real true home appreciation, and not it's a buyer's frenzy. If you've in the market for a home, you need to purchase a home. Number one, you're getting nervous because you see interest rates are down and you don't want to miss the historically low interest rates. And number two, you've bid on probably 4 or 5 or 6 homes and you've lost out because you've been bidding on homes at either list price or what you thought the home was worth. So subsequently, the buyer starts getting anxious, and next thing you know, you're seeing bids $10, $20, $30, $40,000 above list price, which a lot of that is emotional. And now where we have to watch out for and maintain in the Metro Atlanta areas, once you get enough people vaccinated and the pandemic is quote unquote over, I don't see the prices dropping. But we'll no longer have a shortage, and you won't see prices jumping up like they're jumping up now. So what I tell some of our clients, especially investors, is watch out, because it's almost like a market of hot potato, because a lot of homeowners are purchasing homes knowing that I'm bidding over list price, but in their mind they're saying, well, the properties are appreciating at such a fast pace that I might be overbidding for this home today. However, in 6 months the market is going to catch up with me. Well, that's what we were doing back during the boom. People were overbidding, and we were pricing homes based upon future appreciation. And then at some point in time, it's almost like musical chairs. When the music stops, somebody's going to be left without a chair. And that's where we're at in our market now. Prices are appreciating, and they're appreciating at rates in some markets above where they were appreciating at during the boom. And then once everyone is comfortable with the elimination of the pandemic, and all of the homeowners that didn't sell their home last year decide, hey, it's safe for me to put my home on the market, that appreciation stops. And if you overbid for a home almost at that time spot, now you're in a situation where the market is, instead of 6 months catching up to your sales price, it may take several years for the market to catch up at your price. So that's what we're seeing in the market as it pertains to the shortage and where prices are going.
Okay. I've heard that as well. So what I'm going to do now is kind of start taking some questions from the chat, but I also wanted to ask about two things. So I work with seniors on a daily basis, and there are some premier communities that are like Peachtree City. One of the things I would love to see is kind of similar to, a Peachtree City senior community where they have golf carts and they're riding through, the neighborhood. I think, Michelle, you and I talked about Sun City, Florida, those type of amenities. And that's something I would like to see. I don't know if we're able to do that. I know it's a golf cart ordinance that I'll probably have to put forth. But for something like that, this is what I am hoping to see in that community. Also, too, I wanted to talk about sidecar garages versus having them facing the front. I think sidecar garages as a different characteristic to a community. And then when you're riding by, you don't have to see everybody's stuff in the community. So if there's an option that we can kind of talk about, I don't know if you have any of those plans, but maybe I didn't see it. Or did I see one that had a side garage?
I think some of them may, but I think the challenge is that the lots, the size of the lots doesn't really lend itself, I think, to side entry. I'm going to try and be like Marlon was, and I think I might understand how to share my screen now, maybe, unless he did something different. My share button will not click. Therein lies where my problem is. Because I didn't click on the picture. All right, I got it now. I think I'm ready. Okay. Boom. Got it.
I don't see anything.
Nothing yet?
No.
Okay. How about that?
Nope.
Okay, well, Marlon, you still got me because it does say that it's sharing, but now I don't see it. So I'll keep trying. Anyway, the unit sizes, I don't think in terms of the lot size on the senior component does not really lend itself to a side entry on, all of the units. Maybe some on the corners that would make sense, but not in the actual within the interior. I just don't think that works within the interior.
Okay. Well, maybe that's something that we can look at. And then also to making sure that we have some additional information in regards to the real estate. A lot of the residents are chiming in and saying they don't feel comfortable not including Walden Park in that analysis and things of that nature. Right. So want to be as transparent as possible and providing them with the best information. So
absolutely. And I can say this. Marlon is not someone who compromises his principles for anybody. He is a professional. And so I know that there was no intentionality there. I will speak up for him. So I know he will be taking care of making sure that he gathers additional information to support the information he has provided here. And he'll make sure he gets Walden Park over. And I'll make sure too that he gets over to
That is correct.
Okay.
All right. So, Joy, if you are ready, let's start taking some information from the chat, some questions, filtering them ones out. All right. Let's see how we can make this work. Not sure why she's not talking. I guess I can start here. I wanted to kind of go to the top and start.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Finally. Okay.
Okay, I was talking the whole time. So a lot of them are not necessarily questions. They're just the comments that have been coming up. You address some of them. This Elizabeth Coyne wanted to know, I live in Hampton Oaks and I get phone calls and text messages daily to inquire if I will sell my home. Demand is high and we do seem to be undervalued. Someone wants to know, they didn't have a name. Why did you guys pick this location for your seniors? It's to anything or like stores and things of that nature?
Well,
Michelle, you can quickly answer that one.
Yeah. One, we think this is an amazing area. We're at the intersection of two, a minor thoroughfare and a connector street. So they connect into the larger communities that surround this area. A lot of people want to be around their family. I mean, people who are 55 and older, I think that there's a sense here that if you're 55 and older, you have to be right next to the grocery store. There are many 55 and older communities that are getting developed throughout the metropolitan Atlanta area, particularly in the suburban areas, where they're next door to a typical subdivision. There's no distinction if you come to Cobb County, for example, where there are a tremendous number of 55 and older communities, and they are mixed in with regular communities. The only difference for that 55 and older community is you don't want kids there. I mean, that's primarily the reason why you go to a 55 and older community, is that you don't have children living, in the homes within those communities. So it's a choice of lifestyle. So these communities don't have to be, next to the gym or next to the grocery store. This is not a community for, I would say the typical senior that will be buying in here will be in that 50, 60, 65 year old range. It's not really intended for like an assisted living or people who have other special ambulatory type needs. These are me just driving and living in a home.
So also too, this is another hot button for me, where the sidewalks and our pets allowed, looking for possibly a dog park, because a lot of seniors do come with their pets. The possibility of having a dog park, was that considered?
I think that's something we can put in there. I think we've got plenty of land to be able to incorporate a dog park into the area.
Okay. So Harold Reed has said, with your craftsman style, will you be using hardy plank or similar material?
Hardy plank, board and batten, all fiber cementatious materials. Is a very clean look. It is very marketable right now. There are many communities actually that are asking for the craftsman style type home because it's so popular right now.
Okay. But we will also have the opportunity to have
we'll have the brick. Yes, ma'am. We have to have the brick. Yes.
All right. How much will the monthly HOA fees be for the residents? Have that been set as of yet?
No, that has not.
Okay. Joy, what else do you have? No other questions are coming through.
No questions, but we do have a few comments that may have information they want to address, such as congestion in the area for traffic and a concern about that with the seniors. They would like to know what research studies were used to come up with the information. They're not really necessarily happy about the development. So it's more so questions than anything. I'm sorry, comments more than anything else.
So one of the things as well, when was this actually zoned it was zoned under Fulton County, correct?
No, this property isn't zoned. It's all zoned AG1. That's the other project. This
That's-
project is all AG1. And that's the other reason why we're seeking to rezone. No one is building under the AG zoning designation. So we are seeking a rezoning to SH on this portion of the property. And don't forget, we also have the CUP portion of the property as well. The density on that component of it, which is just a regular single family subdivision, has dropped to 130 units. So now we are compliant with the no more than 2 units per acre on 65 acres of land, a little over 65 acres of land. We did that because we wanted to make certain that we were compliant with the underlying land use map. This product, again, will range from we'll have ranch homes that will start at 2,000 square feet. The price point on those will be the initial price point on those will be $300 to $325, and then we will have 2-story homes at 2,700 square feet or larger, and those homes will start between $350 and $375. And it should be noted that the price points that we have mentioned are the opening price points. All of these price points are going to go up. And remember, if this project is approved, it would be sometime in 2022 before the first house would be built. And as the market continues to move up, we have the opportunity for these homes to also appreciate in value or increase in value in terms of the price points. And remember, this also does not include any of the upgrades that those residents will be entitled to select from, which will also push the price points up. We also, though, want to make sure that, seniors and the folks who will be moving to these communities, a lot of seniors are looking to be able to travel and do other things. And so they're not necessarily trying to sink all of their life savings again back into a home. Many are trying to extract some of that money in order to be able to utilize those funds for other activities and things that they may want to do. So we believe that this price point is very in the right spot now. We're in a well considered community. We're not imposing on the schools. We're not adding any more children to the schools. Those who commented about getting out in the morning, I mean, people who live in Atlanta are used to traffic. Again, we act like these are folks that are, in their wheelchairs. That is not really the market that will be buying within these communities. We know that many of these folks are simply us looking for a place to stay that simply doesn't have a large child or have a child population.
So one of the things too, I know a lot of residents are chiming in about the traffic. Did you want to share about the roundabout? I know we don't have anybody on from planning or public works, but there is a roundabout that is also proposed for that location for West Stubbs and Butner to kind of help with the traffic, help mitigate some of the traffic. As we grow as a city and, basically speaking, also with the mayor, we will have to address Butner Road. That is a highly traveled road within within our city. So we will have to address that very soon. But as of right now, what Fulton, and I believe it was approved while they were in Fulton County, the roundabout for West Stubbs and Butner Road. So there is some ways to kind of mitigate the traffic as we continue to grow. And I know Ms. Coyne Coyne had mentioned something of that. Joy, are there any other comments that are coming in? He said, are you able to redisplay the site plan? I don't think, Mr. Reed, we weren't able to put up the price, the site plan at this time.
Maybe I can send it to Marlon because he's wait a minute. I might have gotten there. Hold on. I think I might.
Joy, can you put your phone on mute? I think it might be your phone.
Okay. I am trying to figure out. I've got my screen up now. Marlon, you did this, and I don't know how in the world you did this, but I'm mad because I consider myself to be a fairly intelligent individual here, and I am not able. I've got it up. Keep talking. I'm going to get this fixed while you all are taking.
Okay. So I do know the site plan. Joy, do you have any other questions coming through the chat? They want you to put up the site plan for longer. I disagree with your price point options with better numbers to include Walden Park, Les Jardins, Canaan Woods, and you'll see what we are saying. So there has been, like I said, Mr. Day, of course, comments in regards to the research. So if you wanted to share where you actually received your data, we'd greatly appreciate that. And if you can give us a recap at another time, so I can include it either in our newsletter of, including Walden Park into that as well.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and update our study to include Walden Park, and I'll send that back over to Miss Battle to get over to you. While you guys were talking, I did go back into, because we extracted all of our information from MLS, and what we did was a map search, and in our map search, for whatever reason, I'm not certain if the addresses were standardized yet, but when we do a map search, some of the new construction in Walden Park doesn't show up on a map search. So while you guys were talking, I went back into MLS and I just looked it up under the subdivision name. And what I saw in there were, I saw 10 home sales 10 new construction home sales over the past 24 months that range between 384,000 to 464,000 with an average of 432,000. And that was about 0.417 homes sold or absorbed per month. So a little less than a half a home per month. And now what I'll do once we get off the call is I'll go back in and see if I can find a couple of sales in Walden Park that I can show what their rate of appreciation is on their homes. But no, it was an oversight on our part. When we did the 3-mile radius search, we actually did a 3-mile map radius, and Walden Park, the new construction sales there didn't pull up in our search, and we were only initially looking at new construction homes built from 2017 to present. So since you guys told me about Walden Park, I got that information on Walden Park, and then we'll go back and we'll complete our analysis on the appreciation point in that community.
Okay. You must use the tax records. So this is a comment as well. You must use the tax records to get the original home prices of the homes built prior to 2008. Also, too, there was a question about it being a gated community, security, lighting for the seniors. Can you share? I know it definitely will be lighted.
Right. Oh, well, definitely. But it was not intended to be a gated community. There are plenty of senior communities around that are not gated. I'm not sure why this would need to be gated.
Okay. And certainly if it was gated, that will also add additional fees.
Right.
Yes.
Because now all the roads would have to be private, and that just drives up the price for those who are living in there.
Not sure if an answer was given to whether or not subdivision will be required to put money for infrastructure, road, and maintenance. Did you want to tackle that, Michelle?
Those will be private. Those will be public streets. They're not private streets.
So they are city streets. And one of the things that we are doing as a council is taking an opportunity to go through our comprehensive plan. We have heard a lot of the residents and then also through a lot of our research about impact fees. So we will be addressing that through our comp plan. If you only look at new construction, you are going to only get cheaper homes. So that is a comment that was also made. So again, Ms. Battle, are you able to get your screen going for the site plan or no?
I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to send it to Marlon, because Marlon clearly was capable of getting this done and I am not. And that
Send it
is
on over.
all right. I will send it to him and he will get it up on the screen for us.
All right. Did we get any comments about any other amenities that possibly we can consider? I heard the dog park, which would be awesome. What about walking trails?
So the larger project, and as soon as we get this email over to Marlon, we should be able to pull up the site plan. What you will find is that we do have a clubhouse and a pool on the CUP portion of the property, and there are walking trails throughout the community as well as sidewalks, and all of that will be accessible on both sides. So there will be a nice walking trail system through the project. And
Okay.
I'm sending this over. Hopefully, Marlon, this file isn't too big. It might take a minute to get there, but I just sent it to him.
Pickleball. So I've heard about a pickleball court. I know seniors play pickleball. That would be interesting.
We could actually do that in the back where we said that we were going to have an open space. So it could be pickleball, and we could also have like a dog park area back there, because it's a nice area that will be behind that spot.
So also to addressing some infrastructure needs, it was brought to the attention about how Les Jardins, for instance, had to pay quite a bit, including fees for a traffic light at Butner before building. Hampton Oaks did also. I guess that's something that we can talk about because the case is going to the planning department. Am I correct at this point? We're waiting for planning approval?
No, we've already come through planning.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going, so
Straight
once it is
we're
this
city
changed,
council.
then it'll be, okay, it'll come to city council. Okay.
And Marlon, I've just sent you the other stuff, so hopefully it's coming through.
And you have, well, I guess you've met with Cliftondale.
We had a preliminary meeting with Cliftondale. I am more than happy to get back with Cliftondale again, but we were told that basically we needed to make sure that we abided by the requirements under the overlay district, and we believe that we have. So if they'd like to have a further meeting, that's fine too.
Right. We'll take a look at that.
Marlon, have you had any success pulling up my thing? I am just so outdone that I can't get my screen to work.
Nope, I don't have your email yet.
Okay. Can you see that?
I'm late. So I'm late. Can someone tell me about the residency that is coming? Okay.
It says my screen is being shared, but you can't see this?
No. Okay. We can see that.
Can you see
Here we
this
go.
now?
Yeah, we can see it.
Oh, thank God. It's just a minute. Okay. So where we started at on this project was this larger plan here. And this plan, oops, let me go. Yeah, I guess you can see this. This plan had 170 units. And that was the CUP portion of the project. And you can see here that we did have some trails and other things, and we have our amenity area down here. Since the last we met, we have updated the site plan. Well, actually, I wanted to also show you all. This was the portion where we had the senior component. These are the old plans. That's what was. What is now, we are proposing this is for the CUP component. We have reduced this to 130 units. You can see we've got a lot more green space throughout here. The walking trail system is here. You can see it kind of wrapping around here at the top. So it kind of goes throughout the community, down and around. So there's walking trails throughout this area. And there's walking trails that you can see coming through in these areas, which then connect into the sidewalk system that goes into the senior community. So this is a walkable community by both parties throughout the community. And then with regards to the senior component of the community, and I'm going to see if I can enlarge this a little bit. I'm not exactly.
And this senior community will have 2 entrances. Am I correct in that?
So they will be able to come in through the entrance that's here. We've got the entrance off of West Stubbs. So they'll be able to enter through the West Stubbs side and come down this road until they enter into the community. So they can come in this way, or they can come in off of Butner.
And sidewalks will be on both.
And they will have, yes, and there'll be sidewalks on both, and there'll be sidewalks on both sides of the street. You can see here when you're coming in off of the entrance, off of across from Python Drive, you come in off of the intersection. You've got the decel lanes coming into the community. Everybody is kind of in this circular pattern, which is very popular in a lot of the senior communities. Easy accessible. People can walk through the community, and you know, trees and in the front here will be a nice landscaped area. When you get past the natural buffer here in the front, you move to the rear of the community. We've got parking spaces here. We also have the community building, and then a landscaped area here in the back. We may be able to, this is the area where we can probably add maybe like a dog park or something towards the back end of this, so it's not disruptive to anyone. Additionally, we have this area here, which could be for pickleball. That would be very easy to install back here in this area, as well as maybe, like I said, a community garden or something of that nature could be installed as well. We are going to be making one new update to this because we do have to show the location of the mail kiosk, which is now a requirement. But that will make that update, and we'll provide this to you all so that you'll have it and can circulate it to the other members of the community. But again, our density is at 4 units per acre, which is what is allowed under rural neighborhood. Under the SH zoning district, you automatically get density bonuses. So we are not amending anything that is accordance with the SH district regulations. And then with regards to the amenity area that we have, again, with the CUP component, you can see here that we've got community open space, and we'll have walking trails and play space open area throughout the community. As you can see, the trail system working and weaving its way through. And then we also have the community amenity area, which includes a swimming pool and a clubhouse that will be located in this area. And sidewalks, again, on both sides of the street as you're coming into the community and along the perimeter. Uh-oh. I don't know if we lost the commissioner.
She'll be right back in. She was having technical difficulties, but I'll go ahead and post some more of
questions
and comments. Let's see. We have, as a senior, if I move into a retirement community, I would not want to buy a home adjacent to a non-senior community.
Okay.
Mr. Reed wants to know, a roundabout at the intersection of the First Street coming off Butner would be a good traffic calming device. They want to know, will they have at least a security for the senior area?
There's no special security that will be had. I mean, they'll have the same security as the other communities in the area.
Okay. And is this going to be 100% senior housing, or is there something else that will be a part of this planned development?
The senior component will be for seniors only. We are asking for a variance to lower that age from 62 to 55. And it will be age restricted. So the property can only be owned and occupied by individuals who are 55 and older. There will be no exception like for grandchildren or anything of that nature. That's part of the code requirement to qualify for the SH zoning designation.
Okay. All right. Any more, Joy? I fell off for a minute. I'm sorry about that.
Sorry, that was finishing up talking. So it worked out.
Okay.
Hey,
All right.
if I could get another moment on the circle back to Walden Park, while I was off the meeting for a second there, I did look at some of the to get some rates of appreciation. I looked at two properties that were built back during the boom: a property on Thorough Circle and a property on Garland Circle. Property on Garland Circle sold from as a new construction in December 2005 for $450,000, and in January of 2020 it sold for $358,000, which is still about a 20.44% below appreciation or negative appreciation, because it's still sold below the new construction price. And the property on Thorough Circle sold in August of 2006 for $431,000, and in June of 2020 it sold for $360,000, which is a negative 16%. So what we're seeing even in Walden Park is a lot of the homes that were purchased during the boom, or during our better days here in real estate in Atlanta prior to the recession. A lot of those homes built during that period still have not caught back up to the value that they lost during the recession. However, I do have a newer construction on Thorough Circle in Walden Park that sold here recently, or in 2020. It sold new in 2017 for $420,000, and then recently sold for $480,000. Which was a $60,000 appreciation, or 14% appreciation, but that was for a newer construction. So what I'm looking at in the data is it just looks as if there may be some better appreciation in Walden Park for a newer construction, but it doesn't seem like it applies back for the older homes that I know that were primarily in question. So yes, there is some appreciation in Walden Park for more recent construction.
So, Marlon, can I ask you a question? Because I think
Yes.
one of the questions that keeps coming up is, so why isn't it that? No. So why should we continue to build lower end homes from their perspective under 400? Why not build more $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 homes so that pulls up or stabilizes the prices? That the reason why these homes we're getting all these low end homes, that is not what the market wants. That these people want $500,000 plus homes, and if we were selling those and building those, then that would help the people around who also have $500,000 homes.
Okay, and that is a good point. I think what you have is when you look at a 12 or 24 month sales cycle in the market, if it is in fact that people want 500 or 500 plus $1,000 homes, you would see more of those homes. Even from a resale standpoint, you would see them selling. And what you also wouldn't see, if there was a big demand for the higher end homes, you wouldn't see the higher end homes still having a problem of getting back to where they sold new in 2007. If there was high demand for those homes, and there's not a lot of inventory for, say, a $500,000 home in that area, then you would just kind of sort of what we're seeing in the market now with the Covet shortage, you would see a spike in those prices because there's fewer of those homes on the market. Therefore, if there's 5 of those $500,000+ homes on the market, but you got 30 people that want a $500,000 home, where those five $500,000+ homes are going to sell at a premium. They'll sell above list price. They'll sell above where they sold when they were previously constructed, if that's where the demand is. And what we're seeing all across Metro Atlanta today is we've got new builders. We've got new builders that are building with different footprints, and they're building with a different business strategy than the previous builder. Previously, and during the boom, and I always reference back to the boom because I was appraising back then. Builders had a philosophy of build it and they'll come. So builders would build these big, grand, illustrious subdivisions, and they would build homes that weren't under contract, and they would build them and they would just sit. And they had the philosophy, well, we built out 100 homes and we're going to wait till we get all of these 100 homes sold. Well, today's market and today's builder doesn't want to get stuck in that same situation, because when the recession hit, a lot of those builders were just put out of business because all of that inventory that you had sitting, waiting for people to come and buy, that's a liability. So when the market crashed, those guys went out of business. So today's builder, what they're building based upon analytics. They're building based upon data. They're looking at the numbers, they're looking at the data, and they're building what they can build and get closed out in a much faster pace. Builders don't want to be in subdivisions for 5 to 10 years trying to sell out homes anymore like they did back in the past. They would like to have absorptions of 3, 4, or 5 homes per month so that they can get in and get out. So right now, it's not necessarily personal. It's just the market. The market has changed, and sometimes we're not necessarily in control of the market. This is just where the market is at right now, and builders are building based upon data. If they see different data, for example, if they see different data in Alpharetta, then they're going to build different homes in Alpharetta based upon the data that they see. If they see different data in Cobb County, they will build based upon that data that they see in Cobb County. So it's not necessarily like it was prior to 2008, and I think that's what we have to understand now. So it's not personal with the builders. They have a development team, and they have a real estate analyst department, just like most appraisal offices, and they're just crunching data, and they're looking at what's gonna sell out the fastest and what's my most profitable, and reducing my liability, because no one wants to hold on to all of this inventory for years waiting for people to migrate to an area. And that shift in the market is what we're witnessing today.
Gotcha.
Okay. Well, definitely thank you for that. You gave us some information. So not the best information from, it's not making us happy, but you did give us the information, and that's what I do request, that you all be as transparent as possible. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Again, I want you all, the residents that are tuned in, please feel free to, number one, email me your concerns in regards to this project. Also, two, Michelle will be sending over the information as far as the site plan and the floor plans as well, that we can share with you all. So I will be sending that out in the newsletter. And once Marlon provides us the update on the research that he provided, I will also include that as well. But I also want you all to, again, extend yourself. If this is something that you would love to see, I would love to hear from you, and any additional amenities that we can make this a nice project. Again, and also too, we will, Michelle, be in contact, and I will share the information I've received from the residents. And then I will also go back through this chat as well and look for any additional questions that we may not have answered. I'm sorry, our community development director, Ms. Reed, is listening in. So she is on there. If you see my email, it's at the bottom scrolling across. So again, I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. I like the active engagement. The chat was very lit. So it was a lot of information in the chat, but we will make sure that the residents will get all of the information. So again, thank you all for participating. The residents, as always, thank you again for being involved and staying involved. I look forward to talking with you all very soon. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Marlon. Have a good evening.
You're welcome. You too.